Good afternoon. It's Wednesday and it's time for the North Carolina Vinyl Picker. We're going to do top 10 my favorite concerts of all time. And I've been through a lot of them. Over 100. I've been to lots of them. First one I want to talk to you about is Bad Company, the original Bad Company. Edgar Winter came out. Me and my wife went there. We were dating at the time, or we just recently had got married. We were down at the Hard Rock down in Orlando, Florida, where we lived down that way. And we went over to the Hard Rock and we saw the original Bad Company with Paul Rodgers, and it was fan-damn-tastic. It's her favorite band. We also saw them at Paradise Island another time, and she got Paul Rodgers' shirt. I don't know if she still has it, but yeah, it was a fantastic show. And first off, Edgar Winter came out with Rick Derringer, and they did Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, and Edgar Winter did Frankenstein and everything. It was a great show. And then Bad Company came on with the original band with Boz and with all them guys. It was fantastic. It was just incredible. And she loved it because Bad Company was always her favorite band, them and AC/DC. Alan Parsons Project, I saw there as well. My daughter's first concert, she was about maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9. And she was really young, and it was April 13th, 2006. So she was around 9 years old, and it was a really great show. It was really nice to experience that with her. And later on, we went and seen Anderson, Wakeman, Bruford, and Howe. We saw that. Not Anderson. We saw Anderson, Wakeman, and Trevor Rabin. That's who we saw. ARW, right? We saw ARW down in Orlando about 10 years ago, I guess it was. It was a great show. And then Steven Wilson. I went one time by myself down to Orlando, and I went one time to Ponte Vedra, and that's near St. Augustine. And when I went to Ponte Vedra, I saw them do the To the Bone tour, and that's the last time Steven Wilson's toured. But I'm getting ready to go see him here in about 10 days, so I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a great show. And then I saw him in Orlando do the Hand Cannot Erase tour. I saw that tour down in Orlando, and I actually went down there all by myself. I was all by myself. And then I also saw him with Porcupine Tree one time. I think I've mentioned that before, Fear of a Blank Planet tour. And I didn't see him for the incident, which I wish I had. I think they played at the same place maybe a couple of years later. Yeah, so number 10. Let's go down memory lane. Now we're going back a long time, number 10. And I had these in kind of an order that I wanted them in. I kind of hammed and hawed, and I kept them on. But this is how I'm going to go ahead and rank them right here. Coming in at number 10, Peter Gabriel had left Genesis, and I never saw Gabriel with Genesis. First time I saw Genesis was later on the Wind and Weathering tour. But Peter Gabriel, first album, he came out on stage. Well, actually, Television. He was with Television. It's at the Capitol Theater in Passaic. And I don't have the date on here, but I do have the ticket. There you go. And the ticket says it was $7. That was $7. The date on here is not on here, but it had to have been the late 70s at some point. And that's when I saw Gabriel for the first time. And he came. We didn't see Television. The people I was with, they decided they didn't want to go in until Gabriel came on. So I don't know what we did. I can't remember. Maybe my buddy John can remember that far back. That was a long time ago. That was 40 years ago. Gabriel comes on and does a complete set with Robert Fripp sitting in the back on guitar off to the left side of the stage. Larry Fass, I believe, from Synergy, Nectar, he was on the keyboards, if I'm not mistaken. And Gabriel was there with Tony Levin. I believe Tony Levin was on bass. And Gabriel came out and came out in encore and did Back in New York City, I think is what he did. He had the leather jacket on. It was really cool. That's about all I can remember of the show. It was so long ago. But that was coming in at number 10. Coming in at number 9. Coming in at number 9 is the Strawbs. I saw the Strawbs at the Capitol Theater there too. And that was another great show. And I got the ticket for that one. And let's see if there's a date on here. It says March 5th, 1977. And the ticket was for $7. and I saw the Strawbs, and I don't remember if there was an opening act or not. I don't think there was. It was a great show. I got to see the Strawbs one time, and it was on the Deep Cuts tour. This is the album that came out, and they did stuff from Ghost and Heroin. You can go into, there's a website where you can go into, and you'll see the complete list of songs that they did. I forget the name of the website, but it's a really cool website, and you can go on there and you can check it out. And yeah, so that's the ticket for the Strawbs. So that was another fantastic show. I don't remember a whole bunch about it, but I do remember seeing Dave Cousins up there singing, and I remember being there. I think it was just me and John, my buddy John. I think it was just me and John for that one. I think on the Gabriel was me, John, and his brother Tom. I think that's what who was the three were for that show, but I be staying corrected. Coming in at number 3 was a show that I went with my nephew down to the Tupperware Center down in Orlando. It's down there near Gatorland. It's down there in Kissimmee. And we saw King Crimson on the Thrax tour when Bruford returned to the drum kit. And they had 2 drummers. And that's the day that Fripp told me about the button, to take the button off my shirt. So I talked to Robert Fripp that day. We were in there early. We were off to the left side. I remember being off to the left side, and Bruford was just on fire. He was firing on all cylinders. I got to see Bill Bruford. And yeah, that was fantastic. I think that's the only time I ever saw Bruford, if I'm not mistaken. Coming in at number 7. Number 7 is a trio. We're going to talk about a trio. When I lived up in Connecticut, I used to go to Toad's Place, and Toad's Place was in New Haven, I believe. Yep, 300 York Street, New Haven. I saw 3 shows there while I was there. Could have been more, but I only have 3 tickets. I saw King Crimson there doing the Discipline tour. Get the album. There's the album. That was a fantastic show. Oh, no, Bruford was on that one too, so there you go. I saw him twice. And great lineup, fantastic show. They had regrouped, and they were doing the 80s sound. They did that album, then they did Beat, and then they did 3 of a Perfect Pair. But I only saw them the one time on those 3 albums, and it was on the first one. Now they're out on tour again. They've come out with a live album, but I saw the original band. That's right, I saw the original band. Also saw Marillion there on August the 5th. The ticket was $3.99, right? The King Crimson show was $9, by the way. Okay, so the Marillion show, they had just come on, they were just coming out. This was back in 83, 80, something around 82, and they come out with this album, Script for a Jester's Tear. And I was there. I was there and watched Fish on stage, larger than life, front and center with Marillion, and it was damn fantastic. I can remember, I'm starting to remember them more as I'm going through these top 10. It was a great show. Awesome show. What can I remember about? I remember seeing the guitar player and the bass player. I remember watching them all. The drummer. I remember Fish, which he had the makeup on and stuff. And John took some pictures, or I took some pictures, and I have them. I should have pulled them out for the show, but it was a damn fantastic show. I remember going there, and right up front we had seats. We had seats for all 3 of these shows. I was sitting up pretty close, like the first table to the right of the stage. I think we were right in front of Fish for the Marillion show, if I'm not mistaken. And then I saw Steve Hackett there for $5. I saw Steve Hackett there, and it was on the Defector tour. Defector / Cured, because Cured was coming out. But he was doing a lot of songs from Defector and Spectral Mornings, and it was fantastic. So I keep saying fantastic, but what can I remember of just his guitar playing? And it was just awesome, just freaking awesome. Whew! Those are the trio from Toad's Place. Coming in at number 6 is Marillion. I saw Marillion twice. I saw them on this tour, the Fear tour, and I also saw them early on. No, I saw them 3 times. I saw them Script for Jester's Tear, and then I seen them for Fugazi when they opened up for Rush at Radio City. That was another great show. But they were getting booed. Marillion was getting booed off the stage in a lot of venues because everybody was there and they wanted to see Rush. Fear is everywhere. Marillion. This was a great show. I went by myself again down to Orlando, and I saw them. Where did I see them? I got the ticket right here at the Plaza Live, February 9th, 2018 at 8 p.m. And the ticket was $45 for Marillion. Great show, great show. Coming down to the top 5 now, Porcupine Tree, Fear of a Blank Planet. I saw them, like I was saying, at the Hard Rock, and I mentioned that before. I was right down in front, and I was talking next to some guy, and we had a stand for the whole show. And I had to stand for like an hour before the show started. So I was on my feet for like 3 hours, and I was right in front of Steven Wilson, and John Wesley was with the band then. He's incredible. Just a great show. I'm not going to say fantastic. It was a great show. I saw Fear of a Blank Planet and House of Blues. There's the ticket right there. And the date on that was October 3rd, 2007. And what was the price? The price was $26.50 to see Porcupine Tree back in the day. Coming in number 4, I saw Emerson, Lake and Palmer one time, and it was on the Works tour in San Diego at the old football stadium. I also saw Frampton there. Frampton Comes Alive. This would have been 1977 when I was out there at cooking school for the Navy, and I got to see Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I believe Jay Giles opened up for Frampton. Ain't nothing but a house party. That's right. They were jamming. But Emerson, Lake and Palmer came out. I think they were all by themselves. And they did this whole set. And they shot off the cannons when they did Pirates and everything. And it was just incredible. Incredible. Coming in at number 3 is another show I went to see in Orlando. This was at the old, they used to call it the Sombrero. It was a football stadium for the Tampa Bay football team over there, the Bucks. And I think they tore that down and rebuilt it. But that's when I saw Pink Floyd on the Pulse tour. And here's the Behemoth right here. Great show. They did the complete Division Bell. They did all of Division Bell because Division Bell had just come out. And then they took a break, come back, and they did the complete Dark Side of the Moon album. Oh my goodness. Talk about a show. We were right up in the back, all the way across the stadium, up on the top, and you could look into the parking lot just about. And the rear speakers are right there. So when they dropped the coins for money and Dark Side of the Moon, the coins were right over our heads. And the weed was coming right on up through there. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. That's a show I'll remember. But David Gilmour was about this tall. He was really small, but I got to see him, and it was on the Division Bell tour. And this is the blue vinyl. This is the one you want. This is the one that goes for money, from what I'm told. Whew. Where am I going? Where am I going next with this? Here's the ticket for Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I still have it. And that was August 10th, 1977. And it doesn't have a price on it. I'm behind here. I'm getting behind. Oh, goodness. Sorry about that. Here's the Pink Floyd. May the 6th, 1994 at 8:30 p.m. And how much did it cost to see Pink Floyd? $35 for an adult seat. $35 in 1994. That's how much things have changed since then. I know a lot of people probably have already checked off my show, so hopefully not. Hopefully there's still a few of you out there watching the old Picker show. I'm talking. Coming in at number 2. Coming in number two is Songs for Songus. His 35th anniversary show, and that was over in Tampa, and that was also with my nephew, and we were at the Ice Palace. Talk about a show. The rubber mats were down all over the floor because it was an ice skating rink. They had that was the year that Tampa Bay, their hockey team, was in the playoffs, and eventually they won the championship that year. And I wore my shoes that night. I remember having shoes. I don't know if they were sneakers, and my feet were freezing because we were on a pad. It was about that high. When they're sitting in metal chairs and the stage, and then Gabriel and John Anderson walked right up in front of us, right down the aisle, right past us and stuff. And they had the big blow ups and stuff. So if you've seen this show, then you know it's just incredible. The 35th anniversary brought back all the original Steve Howe, John Anderson, Alan White, Chris Squire, Rick Wakeman. It was an incredible show. It was incredible, but it's not number one. It ain't number one, because number one is this show right here, Seconds Out. I saw this twice. I saw it at the Garden, and then I saw it over in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. And I remember seeing Phil on stage up there singing. I've seen the video before of them doing the show after the fact and stuff, and that kind of brings back memories of the show. With it was awesome. I was a young guy. I was like, I don't know, 19, 20 years old and I was seeing Seconds Out, and that was the first time I got to see Genesis. Just incredible. I was lucky to go there, and thanks, John, for taking me. I don't remember. I think I was in the Navy already. I'd already been in the Navy, and I was home on leave maybe, or I don't think it was before I went in. So yeah, I remember going to the Garden, and then it was a little bit of a way after that we went over to Philadelphia and went to the Spectrum. So I also saw Peter Gabriel plays live. I saw that show. We passed Peter Gabriel. I didn't actually do it. He passed off to the left of me, and I had to lay your hands on me, and he laid back in the crowd, and everybody passed him around. I seen that show. That was up in New Haven, I believe it was. And when I saw my very first show at the Capitol Theater, it was Marshall Tucker Band was my very first show I ever saw, and they Mask, the Kansas opened up for them, and it was when the album Mask came out. I think that's the second or third album. So that's just a couple more of my shows I've seen. I've seen so many, and if you go back maybe a year or two back, I did a show where I showed all my concerts that I attended. So that's all I got for today. I went ahead and jabbered for about almost 18 minutes. Take care out there. We'll be seeing you soon. The North Carolina Vinyl Picker is going to be heading up north here soon. Go home. I'm going to go back up home where I'm from, see my brother, and go into the city and see a Yankee game. I'm going to go in there and see my beloved Yankees. I'll be there the day that they play the Baltimore Orioles, on the last day of the regular season on Sunday, coming up here real soon. Not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. I'll be at Yankee Stadium, and I'm going to Port Jarvis, I think, or it's someplace up there, just north of the city, close to Connecticut. And I'm going to see Steven Wilson on the Overview tour. So it's going to be a great couple days up, and then a few days up there with my brother, and then with my buddy John, and then head back down here. So take care. We'll be seeing you soon, and I'm looking forward to seeing my North Carolina pickers. Maybe we can catch up over in Clemens or down in Charlotte and do a record show sometime in the late fall. Talk to you soon, and we'll see you. Bye for now. Support them troops.